Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about what I believe is the most underrated superpower in the modern world. It's not some trendy new biohack or a sudden flash of genius. It is simply profoundly discipline. Let's be honest for a moment. Have you ever been here? You wake up one morning, you are absolutely on fire. The motivation is electric. You decide you're going to write that book, start that business, or finally learn that difficult skill. You buy the gear, you announce your intentions, and for the first week or two, you feel invincible. You're riding a powerful wave of enthusiasm. But then, what happens? Life happens. A late night at work, a challenging personal issue, a rainy Monday morning. The surge of motivation, that electric feeling, recedes. It leaves you stranded on the shore of procrastination, surrounded by the wreckage of unfinished goals. You quit, not because you are lazy, but because you made a fundamental mistake. You believe success was the child of motivation, when in reality, it is the steadfast creation of discipline. Motivation, you see, is like lightning. It's dramatic. It provides a sudden burst of energy, but it's completely unsustainable. It's an emotion, and emotions are fleeting. Discipline is different. It is not an emotion, it is a choice. It is the simple, quiet act of showing up, even when the lightning has struck elsewhere, even when your soul just wants to hit the snooze button. It is your commitment to the person you want to become, not a commitment to the mood you currently inhabit. Today, I want to share a story, not about someone who inherited a fortune or won a lucky break. This is the story of a contemporary craftsman, a person who rebuilt his life, not with grand, sweeping decisions, but with the small, persistent bricks of consistency. Let's talk about Elias. Elias is 38, living just outside of Portland. He held a soul-crushing job in corporate compliance, stable, but completely lifeless. Everything he truly yearned for lay outside those spreadsheets. He wanted to be a ceramic artist. He loved the cool, gritty feel of clay under his fingertips, the precise, meditative process of bringing form out of chaos. He bought a potter's wheel, stacked bags of clay in his garage, and optimistically labeled it his creation lab. But every evening, after the grind of the workday, he was simply too drained. He'd find himself glued to the sofa, scrolling. He'd tell himself, "I'll do it this weekend." But the weekend became a blur of errands and recovery, and the creation lab remained a dusty, neglected space. The turning point came one quiet afternoon at a local craft market. He was captivated by the work of an elderly potter named Lena. Her pieces were not slick or commercially perfect, but they carried a profound sense of permanence and depth. Elias approached, her expressing his admiration. He eventually asked her the question that weighed on his heart. "How do you find the motivation to work every day, Lena?" "I just get completely swallowed up by my day job." Lena smiled, a gentle, knowing smile of someone who had seen countless lives begin and falter. She ran her finger along the lip of a finished bowl and said, "My dear boy, motivation is for beginners. I have discipline. I call it the 5 a.m. rule." Yeah, she explained that when she started, she was a single mother working two jobs. She had only 1 hour of guaranteed absolute quiet, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Her commitment to herself was simple: 1 hour every day, tired, inspired, or completely dry of ideas, she was going to be at the wheel. That hour, she clarified, was not intended to produce a masterpiece. It was simply to show up. It was a declaration to the universe, and more importantly, to the woman in the mirror, that her future self was more important than her current fatigue. That conversation was an internal earthquake for Elias. He suddenly realized he had been waiting for a huge gust of wind, motivation, to move his ship, when he should have been quietly, steadily rowing, discipline. That very night, Elias set his own 5 a.m. rule. The commitment: 4:45 a.m., wake up, 5 a.m., enter the garage, 6 a.m., exit, 1 hour. No phones, no music, just him and the clay. That first morning was a silent, brutal war. The bed was soft. The garage was cold. His mind screamed, "Just one day off. You'll start tomorrow." But he got up. He walked into the lab. He felt no surge of inspiration, not an ounce. He just followed the rule. He threw a tiny lopsided mug. It was ugly. It was clearly the product of a tired, cold hand. But it was real. It was the result of presence, not passion. And in that moment, holding that imperfect mug, he felt a deeper, calmer satisfaction than any emotional high he'd ever chased. It was the quiet joy of a promise kept. He continued, one day after the next. After a mere 2 weeks, the internal negotiation stopped. 4:45 a.m. was no longer a fight. It was an invitation. That hour wasn't a mandatory chore. It became his personal sanctuary. Discipline transformed from a burden into a gateway. What's fascinating is how this new discipline bled into every other area of his life. Because he had proven to himself that he could do this one hard thing, other things became easier. He became disciplined in his eating, his exercise, and even in how he allocated quality time with his loved ones. Those early, imperfect pieces eventually started selling online. Not a market explosion, but slow, consistent growth. His customers weren't just buying pottery, they were buying the quiet, tangible story of a man who built his capacity through consistency. After a year and a half, Elias was able to move out of the dusty garage into a small rented studio and began accepting larger commissions. His corporate job still existed, but it no longer defined him. He was Elias, the potter, the man who got up before the sun. Discipline didn't steal his freedom, it forged it. He didn't wait to feel free, he acted like a free person, and then freedom arrived. But the journey had its inevitable setbacks. On one occasion, a major client returned an entire order due to a small flaw in the glazing. Elias crashed. He felt like an imposter. He missed 3 consecutive 5 a.m. sessions. He slept in, allowing himself to sink into a swamp of self-doubt. He was back where he started, waiting for motivation. He called Lena, his voice heavy with despair. She listened, then said softly, "That fire tests the metal, my son. This failure is not a sign to quit, but a reminder that you are human, not a machine. Discipline does not mean perfection. Discipline means returning. Returning to the wheel, even if you have to wipe away the tears of a setback." The next morning, Elias was up at 4:45 a.m. He didn't feel better. He didn't feel inspired, but he walked into the studio. He started working, not because he wanted to, but because it was his commitment. And as the wheel began to spin, the healing began. Discipline is the quiet bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is not a tool for self-punishment. It is the ultimate tool for self-love through action. It is how you tell your future self, "I am serious about you." So if you are watching this and feeling stuck, don't hunt for the lightning strike of motivation. Instead, find your first brick of discipline. Set a simple, non-negotiable rule. 15 minutes of reading, 30 minutes of deep work, 1 hour on your passion project. Make your presence your priority. Commit to that rule, not on the days you feel soaringly inspired, but on the days you feel completely empty. Because as Lena taught, and Elias proved, discipline is simply choosing between what you want now, the comfort, the easy path, and what you want most to become the best, most authentic version of yourself. You don't need more money, more time, or more motivation. You just need that 1 hour, that one consistent moment. Go build your dream. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, please hit the subscribe button, share this video, and let me know in the comments below. What is your 5 a.m. rule? I'll see you in the next video.